Hey guys, so we are the group Những về một màu, and today we're gonna present to you all you guys the online community which is a part of our course, e-commerce. This is our group members. As you can see, we have 5 members. And these are what we include in our slides, in our contents. Moving to the first part, which is social networks and online communities, we have particularly 5 parts. So what is social network? Social networks involve a group of people, share social interaction, common ties among members, and people who share an area for some period of time. So therefore, online social network means an area online where people who share common ties can interact with one another. This part is the growth of social networks and online communities. As you can see on the table 10.1, this is the number of unique visitors on top US in 2016. While Facebook and Twitter still tend to dominate the news, new kind of social network is appearing and growing much faster than Facebook with respect to unique visitors and subscribers. And according to table 10.2, this is the time spent on top social networks. The number of unique visitors is just one way to measure the influence of a site. Time on site is another important metric. In this sense, Facebook is much more addictive and immersive than other top social networks. Regarding the revenue, social networks generated about £31 billion worldwide in advertising revenue in 2016. The social networks are the fastest growing form of internet usage and advertising revenue, but they are not yet as creative as traditional search engines in terms of ad dollars generated. How to turn social networks into businesses? Early social networks rely on subscriptions, but today, most social networks rely on advertising or the advancement of venture capitalists. Also, social networks have an important impact on how businesses operate, communicate, and serve their customers. Moreover, social networks become an extension of corporate customer relationship management systems. Advertising platforms and extend existing market research programs. For the next part, continue from the first section, how we're presenting to all you guys.
There are many types and many ways of classifying social networks and online communities. The first one is general communities. It offers members opportunities to interact with the general audience organized into general topics. The purpose of the general community is to attract enough members and populate a wide range of topics in discussion groups. The business model is advertising supported by selling ad space on pages and videos. Some examples are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Second is the practice networks. It offers members focused discussion groups, help information and knowledge relating to an area of shared practice. Practice network can be either profit-based or non-profit and supported by advertising or user donations. The third type is affinity communities, which offer members focused discussion and interaction with other people who share the same affinity. These networks are supported by advertising along with revenues from sales of products. Interest-based social networks offer members focused discussion groups based on a shared interest in some specific subject. These communities usually rely on advertising and sponsorship deals. Last but not least, sponsor communities, created by government, non-profit, or for-profit organizations for the purpose of pursuing organizational goals. Many companies have developed their internal corporate social networks as a way of sharing knowledge. Now let's turn to social network technologies and features. Algorithms are one of the most important technologies used by social networks. They are a set of step-by-step instructions for producing a desired output from required inputs. Computer algorithms are computer programs that carry out step-by-step instructions to produce desired products. Affinity groups composed of like-minded people who share views, attitudes, purchase patterns, and taste in music and videos.
So now we'll get to the first part of the online auction with the benefit and code of the auction. About the benefits, as you can see on the slide, there are the liquidities, price discovery, price transparency, market efficiencies, lower transaction cost, and consumer aggregation. Besides the benefits, it also contains a number of risks and costs involved. In some cases, auction market can fail, like the market at all time. They are delay consumption, monitoring, equipment, fulfillment costs, and the trust rate. Auction sites such as eBay have taken a number of steps to reduce the consumer participation cost and the trust rate, including providing a rating system in which private consumers rate sellers based on their overall experience with the merchant and the fixed pricing. The second part is the auction as an e-commerce business model. Online auction is among the most successful business models in the retail and B2B e-commerce. eBay, one of the internet's most lucrative auction sites, has been profitable since its inception with the strategies of making money off every step in the auction cycle. The success of online auction is qualified by the fact that the marketplace for online auction is highly concentrated. The tendency for one or two very large auction sites to dominate. Now let's get to the type and example of auction. The first one is the English auction. It is easy to understand in the most common form of auction on eBay. Multiple buyers bid against one another until the auction time limit is reached. English auction is considered to be the best buyer. The next one is a Dutch auction. It is perfect for sellers that have many identical items to sell. Bidders specify both the bid price and the quantity they want to buy. If there are more buyers than the item, the earliest success bid gets the goods. The third one is the name your own price auction. It is the second most popular auction on the internet. Users specify what they want willing to pay for the good and for the service. And the last one is about the pennies auction, also known as the bidding-free auction. The so-called penny auction are really any but. To participate in a penny auction, you typically pay all the penny auction for the bid ahead of time.
The next part is when to use auctions in business. The objective of consumers is to receive the greatest value for the lowest cost, and the objective of businesses using auctions is to maximize their revenue. Table 10.6 will provide an overview of factors to consider. You can see in the slide. Next is auction price. As is the lowest, the behavioral reality of participating in auctions can produce many unintended results. Winners can suffer winner's regret, the feeling of after winning an auction that they paid too much for an item. Meanwhile, sellers can experience seller's lament, reflecting the fact that they sold an item at a price just above the second place bidder. And even auction losers can experience loser's lament, the feeling of having been too cheap in bidding and failing to win. In summary, auctions can lead to both winners paying too much and seller receiving too little. Both of these outcomes can be minimized when sellers and buyers have a clear understanding of the price for items. About consumer trust in auctions, the operators of the marketplace do not directly control the quality of goods being offered and cannot directly vouch for the integrity of the buyers or the sellers. This opens the possibility for criminal or unreliable actors to appear as either sellers or buyers. eBay and most auction sites make considerable efforts to develop automated trust-enhancing mechanisms such as seller and buyer ratings, escrow services, buyer and seller insurance. The final part in online auctions is when auction markets fail, fraud, and abuse in auctions. Online and offline auction markets can be prone to fraud, which in turn causes auction markets to fail. Some of the possible abuses and frauds are presented in the slide. Meanwhile, auction sites have sought to reduce the risk through various methods including rating systems, watch lists, and policy binding.
Continue with e-commerce borrow. This content will cover three main parts: the growth and evolution of borrow, type of borrow, and borrow business model. To begin with borrow. A borrow is a web-based platform that collects information from different sources into a single user interface and presents users with the most relevant information for the context. Over time, simple graph borrows have evolved into a product platform that supports digital customer experience initiatives. Now let me tell you about the first point, the growth and evolution of borrows. Borrows have changed a great deal from their initial function and growth. Most of the well-known borrows began as search engines. The initial function was to index the graphic content. Websites then expanded their offering from simple navigation to include commerce, content communication, and distribution of other content. These four characteristics have become the basic definition of borrow site, namely sites that provide four functions: navigation of the graph, communication, commerce, and content. Nowadays, this trend has left. Audience move to social network sites like Facebook, which broaden their content and transform themselves into a hybrid social network and borrows. The next one is types of borrows. There are two primary types of borrow: general purpose borrow and vertical market borrows, as you can see on the table. By general purpose borrow, it attacks a very large general audience. Retain the audience on site by providing in-depth vertical content general, such as information on news, finance, auto, movie, and weather. It offers search engine, free email, personal homepage, chat room, community building software, and general purpose borrow are very well-known brands. The second type is vertical market borrow. Vertical market borrows may be based on affinity group or on focused content. It attracts highly focused, loyal audience with a deep interest in either community or specialized content. Offer content such as stock score, stock sticker, health tips, instant messaging, deal information, and auctions. It has recently begun adding many of the features in general purpose borrows. For example, Facebook is an infinity group borrow because it plays on friendship among people. Facebook offers email, search, game, and other apps. Vertical content and affinity group borrows tend to have less well-known friends. Recently, consumers are spending less time surfing the graph, and on general browsing, and more time doing focus search, research, and participating in social networks. This trend will appetit special-purpose vertical market sites that can provide focused in-depth community and content. Last but not least, I want to say about borrow business model. The revenue base of borrows is trending and dynamic, with some of the largest sources of revenue declining. This table summarizes the major borrow revenue sources. The key to display as revenue is content and engagement. The more you can show users, the longer they stay on the site, the more ad revenue can be generated. The survival strategy for general purpose borrow in the future is to develop rich vertical content in order to reach and engage customers at the site. The strategy for much smaller vertical borrow is to put together a collection of vertical borrows to form a vertical borrow network, collection of rich content sites, and the last strategy for search engine sites such as Google to obtain more content to attract users for a long time and expose them to more activity. That's all our presentation. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please feel free to write some comments. We please to answer them.